you may recall from last session, we created this dwarven totem warrior barbarian. Grew up as an urchin, a street fighter, very angry person. He was orphaned, and his family is from this very influential clan. Oh shoot, I'll have to look up the name. House Thrashk is the one who has the bounty out on our head. However, we discovered that we have this Dragonmark, therefore labeling us as a part of this house. And as we've been growing up, we had a pet mouse as an urchin, and that eventually came to be our spirit animal, and something that centered us in our anger growing up in Sharn, away from parents, away from other dwarven cultural influences, as this urchin on the streets of this very large city. And this is all Eberron content that helped to continue to flesh out the character and provide an entrance for the character into the Eberron setting a little bit more smoothly. And so we will go through and we will add the regret or the debt or even a military background. We will also we'll explore here why, based on your background, pardon me, will you be coming to Sharn, which is going to be the location for the adventure we're going to have on Saturday. So this is going to be a fusion of our traditional random character generation as well as the Eberron supplement to then go into our 5th edition character sheet. Hello, Monger. Well, you came back at a good time. We are getting ready to go. Let's roll up. There we go. Here's our dice roller. Female, male, or multi-class? Let's roll a percentile and find out. 64, we have another male character who is going to be a 6 gnome, and specifically, let's look odds or evens. Evens. We have a forest gnome. Now, if we're going to go Dragonmarks, something interesting will happen, but just bear with me. Right now, we have a forest gnome who is of the alignment 2D100, 2798. He is chaotic good. We're going to be generating him at level, let's see, 42 is level 11. We're just shy of getting our 3rd stat bump, right? 4, 8, 12. Well, we're going to get the 4 and the 8. I'll still roll to see if we do take a feat. That'll be a percentile. 20, nope, we're going to go stat bumps. No problem. Now, we're going to roll a 13-sided die. Or actually, you know what we could do? Because gnomes are a race that naturally have dragon marks. There is a house agent background inside of Eberron. So I'm going to increase this to a 14-sided die, and if we roll a 14, we will get the house agent. If we don't get house agent by tomorrow's broadcast, then that character for sure will have house agent as a background, and we will take the feat of the expanded Dragonmark for sure to see what that does to a Dragonmark if we don't get a character that takes it already. This way we're giving everything as fair a shot as possible to happen naturally, and if not, we'll try not to have it to be too contrived. But I do want to showcase the flavor and everything that these mechanics have to offer. We roll a 5, and so this is a folk hero. Folk hero number, because folk heroes, there are 10 different origins for a folk hero, and we have origin 4. I don't know what that means yet, and that's fine. That's just a placeholder. While we're down here, real quick, 2d8, 4 and 8 for personality traits, 3d6 for the other portions of the background, 311. And now it's time to scroll back up. And let's take a look. Hey, Public, good to see you. Let's take a look at what class our gnome will be. A golden D12 and hit it. 11. We have a Warlock. Warlocks are going to get, see here, you get one of 3 patrons and you get one of 3 pets. So we're going to come down here, make a 3-sided die, and roll it twice. 2 and 2. We are a Fiend, Patron, Pact of the Chain. So up here, I'm going to go Warlock, Fiend Chain, level 11. By the way, we're a gnome, and we are small, S-M-O-L, small. Now, as a gnome, here you can see that we start at 2 feet, 11 inches tall, and we're going to add 2d4 inches to our height. We're going to add 6 inches. So we are 3'5". We're going to take that 6 multiplied by 1, so 6, add it to 35, which is his base weight, and he's 41 pounds, not including his gear. And now, lastly, for our traditional random number generation, I'm going to roll a percentile, and we're going to find out at which stage in his life our character will be. At 82, that is old. He is an old gnome. Old. Gnomes, right here, so we're going to do a little cross-reference, right? Old is column 5. That is between 281 and 370. That is going to be an 85-sided die. Okay. Well, we are almost at the venerable stage. This could very well be this character's last adventure. If he doesn't die of causes in the adventure, then I don't know how many more tales he's going to be telling. So he is 369 years old. Okay, we do not need this anymore. We're going to retire it. Now here, where it says character backstory, we're going to scroll to folk hero, and we're going to roll a d4 and discover within the realm of a folk hero, why would a folk hero come to the city of Sharn? 1d4. We rolled a 2. So this is folk hero 2. You're working to improve the image of a marginalized minority group. Goblins, changelings, warforged in Sharn. There we go. Does it have to be one of those 3? Not at all. It's a good prompt, though, and it's a way for you to discuss things with your DM about the details. Remember, your background is a powerful tool for you as a PC, as well as for your DM to help flesh out the world. Alright, now that we have that, let's scroll up a bit. Military backgrounds, let's see. Folk hero. Folk hero does have the possibility of having a particular military background or an aspect, right? You oppose the war. That's the last war, which is a great civil war that ended only a couple years ago in the chronology of the campaign setting. You oppose the war. The actions you took to protect the innocent have made you a local legend. If you wanted this, perhaps, to replace our 4 up here, then you could, if you wanted. Or if you'd like, you can come down here and just say, this is military background. 9. And it doesn't have to perfectly fit. If you're a folk hero, you're not just resigned to the folk hero 1 of the 10. These can be universal, right? You could still oppose the war. The actions you took to protect the innocent have made you a local legend. Can that still happen as an outlander, as an urchin, as a sailor? It sure can. But because we're putting a spotlight on it, I wanna sync it up this time. And if we come back to Eberron, we have a militaristic character, maybe we'll just roll randomly. And we'll have, let's see, you served on the open seas, whether as a marine, a naval officer, a privateer, or a smuggler. That is more bent for a sailor. But again, could that be a charlatan or a criminal? Could that be a noble? Right? Maybe you're not, or a knight if you are a naval officer. You opposed the war. The actions you took to protect the innocent have made you a local legend. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to roll odds for regrets or evens for a debt. This regrets and debts are a way for your character to be more immersed into this neo-noir pulp storytelling theme that Eberron tries to present. It's a little bit more gritty, it's a little bit more dirty. It's not diesel punk or steampunk necessarily. Maybe if you want to call it magic punk or magic, like magia noir or something like that. I don't know, like arca noir. Because industry is fueled by magic. Magic in Eberron is very widespread. It may not be very deep, but most everyone can practice some kind of magic, and it comes in handy in daily life. Let's just roll I don't know, D12s are fun. Evens. Well, we want to get even up, so we are going to have a debt. There are D10 debts, and we're going to roll a D10. So we have debt number 8. You've got a price on your head until you settle things with House Tharashk. You'd better keep an eye out for bounty hunters. You know what? This is the same debt about why do we instantly need 200 gold pieces, which is also a very good way to start an adventure. If you're in the hole and you need 200 gold pieces and soon, you might be willing to take any job that comes your way. It creates a little bit of desperation and a little bit of that gritty, moral ambiguity as far as decision making. And now this is the same house that has a bounty out for Street Rat, which is our dwarven barbarian. Our street fighter who grew up on, brawling in back alleys, had a pet mouse who died and became a spirit animal, etc., and so forth. So maybe these two were set up together, or it's just convenient because the house that hunts them, that's what they do. They're bounty hunters. They recover people, and they don't even have to know each other, but maybe they could be comrades in the hunt, so to speak. Okay, so that is the debt. I'm going to hop over to go. Gnomes only have one Dragonmark assigned to their race, the Mark of Scribing in House Civis. It revolves around communication, translation, and verification. as such, as part of us receiving a Dragonmark, and we'll get into how you incorporate a Dragonmark into a gnome. I don't want to get too far ahead, but while we're here, all your Dragonmarks have a quirk of some kind. Let's roll a d6 and find out what happens. 1. Your Dragonmark is unusually small or remarkably large. Well, as a gnome, we're normally kind of small, so what if our Dragonmark is actually like really big? It takes up all of our chest, or even it's all of our back, or something along those lines. Your Dragonmark is unusually small or remarkably large. And we got number 1 here. Now, this is the custom background. Being a house agent, we didn't roll it. You know, we'll see if we come back to it. Has a feature, characteristics, ideal bonds, flaws, the whole thing's here. Mark of scribing. All right. Before we get to that, per usual, let's continue filling out the background of this character. Let's give our character first. Pop over to Chapter 4. Hey, Pocket Punch, thank you very much for the bits. Let's pop over to Chapter 4 of our Player's Handbook. And we're going to scroll. Sorry, this is going to flash a little bit. Entertainer, Folk Hero. I do very much appreciate that, Pocket. Thank you. Thank you for those bits. And I hope you enjoy that fun little animation that popped up, too. Oh, we get some skill proficiencies, huh? Animal handling and survival. Okay. 1 type of artisan's tools. We'll put that as a placeholder, and maybe we can fill it in a little bit later. Also, vehicles, land. Something important to remember, by the way. If you're a sailor and you are in Eberron, airships are more common, so you might get to choose between being a naval sailor or an aerial sailor, and how that might affect. You know, do you take proficiency with water vehicles, or maybe proficiency with airborne vehicles? Keep that in mind. Equipment. We will start with artisan tools of some kind. A shovel, an iron pot, a set of common clothes, and a belt pouch containing 10 gold. Okay, here is our defining event, generally, that will then put a little bit of Eberron polish on with what we rolled down below. You ready? Folk Hero number 4. I stole from a corrupt merchant to help the poor. I stole from a corrupt merchant to help the poor. So if we're working to improve the image of marginalized groups, goblins and whatnot in Sharn, then perhaps what earned us our folk hero title is we stole from a merchant who excluded this race or others. Oh, Virus, thank you. You got D&D prep for your stream in a bit? Oh, I'm glad you see it, Lieutenant Virus. And thank you for the bits as well. If you did, by the way, Virus, if you because you that's a very notable sum. Not that I'm not grateful for the others as well. For 1,000 bits, I will open up one of these mini sealed containers of your choice, and I will mail you the rare or the large uncommon, whichever's inside there, to you. So something to keep in mind. I very much appreciate the donation and you hanging out, and I hope you have a good game later. Oh, all right. Welcome back, DJ Delta. Hey, Tin Cat. We got to part 3, and I was looking for you, but I didn't see it to look at to build your Tabaxi character. Okay, Virus. It's no pressure. I'm not forcing you to do that, but I wanted to let you know, since you already have a stake, a good stake, you have about a third of a stake in one of these boxes. If you did want to complete it, then you would get your choice, and I'd open it up, and I'd ship you the rare, the uncommon. It's fine, Tin Cat. I figured as much. It happens. Don't worry. Okay, so we stole from a corrupt merchant to help the poor, or in this case, a marginalized minority group of some kind that lives in Sharn. Our background feature is rustic hospitality. You come from the ranks of the common folk. You fit in among them with ease. You can find a place to hide, rest, or recuperate among other commoners, unless you have shown yourself to be a danger to them. They will shield you from the law or anyone else searching for you, though they will not risk their lives for you. And, you know, could that be specifically to the group or the groups we're trying to help? Perhaps. Could it just be, you know, the common folk? You know, because everyone supports you stepping up for this one particular minority? That is something for you and your DM to discuss. I would highly recommend doing so. All of your background features are useful to you as a PC, but they can inspire your dungeon master to insert entire cultures or geographical areas or plot threads into the course of whatever it is you're going to be doing. Yeah, no problem, DJ. Thank you for asking. Okay, here's our personality traits, and remember, let's check that against what we have become by being a gnome in Eberron, okay? Personality trait number 4. I have a strong sense of fair play and always try to find the most equitable solution to arguments. Hey Nana, good to see you. Okay, and so DJ Delta posted up a link to his work in progress statue for his Warforged Bard. Oh, look at that. Look at that. That is really cool, DJ Delta. Well, Tin Cat, even if you do it a little at a time, add a couple lines every time that you pass by your paper. You know, leave it someplace conspicuous. Add a couple lines, go do something else, either take a nap, eat, go out, or, you know, if you said you're looking at moving soon, like if you're packing stuff up or whatever, and make it a work in progress. Add a little bit over time, and you'll have a drawing after a while. Personality trait number 8. I get bored easily. When am I going to get on with my destiny? So we got that initial rush, right? We stood up to that merchant that was being unfair. Everyone cheered for us, and we really liked that 5 minutes of fame, and it sounds like we want to extend that a little bit more. Our ideal is number 3. Freedom. Tyrants must not be allowed to oppress the people. Our bond is number 1. I have a family, but I have no idea where they are. One day, I hope to see them again. This is creating some links already with Street Rat. Because while, yes, we're not necessarily making an Urchin character, maybe he went from Urchin to folk hero by the decisions that he made later on that thrust him into this limelight instead of continuing to slink around the shadows. And lastly, our flaw is number 1. The tyrant who rules my land. That could be literal or metaphorical. It could be a neighborhood. It could be a guild. It could be something along those lines, right? But we have the tyrant who rules my land will stop at nothing to see me killed. That's quite the flaw, because we have, with this folk hero, not only have we generated some kind of a villain or foil for the character, let alone the party, we've created that he has a family out there somewhere. What's going on? Where are they? How can this also tie into what we're trying to do? Oh, thank you, Osaka. There, I turned the music down a little bit. Hopefully that helps. There, kind of adjusted the levels a little bit. Thank you. If anyone else out there is noticing a difference in the volume of my voice to the background music, please be sure to let me know. Now look, by using, even if you don't want to insert this character into Eberron, look at the questions the Eberron supplement is asking of you to take your character just that much more deeper. We have our normal background with which we can use. Hey Nuxie, welcome. Run, follow me if you want to live. Sorry if that's geeking anyone out. Oh, jeez. Of course. You know, it's just a rather expensive webcam that I continue to drop on the floor. No big deal. Ugh. Sorry about that. Hope that didn't make any of you sick. Okay, so here is our normal background traits that we pick up from our player's handbook. But look, not only then do we have all of this going on as a folk hero, you're working to improve the image of a marginalized minority group in Sharn. We opposed this last great war. The actions you took to protect the innocent have made you a local legend. So maybe this is a flavor for the merchant, right? About our origin and being a folk hero. This could be the details that we needed, right? We opposed it, the actions you took, so maybe stealing from this merchant, maybe this merchant was, we discovered, was supplying both sides, let alone our side, quote unquote. And so taking him out not only fulfilled us for not wanting war at all, but the fact that this man continued to fan the flames for everyone by selling to both sides. And so we broke in and stole his goods, and then we used it to better the lives of innocent, peaceful people. You've got a price on your head until you settle things with House Thrashk. You better keep an eye out for bounty hunters. Could that be then a part of the flaw? The tyrant who rules my land, or in this case, maybe the merchant from whom I stole, will stop at nothing to see me killed. And so the merchant actually put a price out for my head with House Thrashk. And lastly, our Dragonmark is unusually small or remarkably large, and as a folk hero, that could even play into, like, even what if our Dragonmark covers our face, and it's almost like a superhero mask of sorts. I don't know, could that be interesting? Does that seem compelling to you? Is this giving you good ideas for not just this character, but other characters that maybe you've generated before, or you're just conceptualizing, no. All right, so if we take this and change 1, 2, 3 other things, yeah, I could totally run this character. I think that'd be really cool. It all works very well together. You just got to subject yourself, right? Subject yourself to the randomness. It's perfectly fine. Believe in yourself to be able to connect those dots. You can do it. And if you're having trouble, you know where to come. This channel or our Discord. We have a mentor network where not just me, but others who've been even playing D&D longer than I have would be happy to help you get an idea for a character concept, or to check over some mechanics, or help you with a custom build, etc. and so forth. Okay, now that we have finished the background, let's go to races, and we're going to go down to gnomes, halflings, humans, Dragonborn. Here we go. Here's our good old-fashioned gnomes. Actually, I'm going to scroll just a little bit here, because this is an important note. For dwarves, elves, gnomes, and halflings, the Dragonmark replaces the subrace. We may be a forest gnome, but we will not get the forest parts of the gnome race, because we're manifesting this Dragonmark. So we'll still be a gnome, and cosmetically, we'll be a forest gnome. Mechanically, we will be a Dragonmarked gnome. Or, you know, if you want to call it like a scribing gnome or a civis gnome. What did we do here for a warding dwarf? Yeah, so we'll call this, instead of a forest gnome, because it was supposed to be a hill dwarf, we'll call this a scribing gnome. Now, for humans and half-orcs, a Dragonmark is a variant race that replaces normal traits associated with those races. So it is its own thing, which means if you're playing Eberron, you kind of have three choices for human. You could go standard PHB human, variant human out of the PHB, or a Dragonmarked human that has its own set of stats. For half-elves, a Dragonmark is a variant race. You keep some of the standard half-elf traits and replace others with the traits associated with your mark. I hope that helps explain things. So let's go over and find out what a gnome, just a gnome gets. Not hill. Or I'm sorry, not forest. Your intelligence score increases by 2. Age and alignment we already have. We already have our size. Our run speed is 25 feet, giving us 12 climb, 12 swim, and 0 fly. We are going to get 60 feet of dark vision. We are going to get Gnome Cunning. You have advantage on all intelligence, wisdom, and charisma saving throws against magic. Languages, we can speak Common and Gnome. Gnomish. And now we come to the subrace, which we are going to depart the player's handbook, pop over to the Wayfinder's Guide to Eberron, and go back to the Mark of Scribing. Here we go. This is a gnome-only mark, okay? Hey, Tricey, good to see you. Here are examples of making characters who carry the mark of scribing. So if you want some inspiration as a PC, or if you want kind of maybe a quick reference NPC as a DM, well, we didn't roll a great old one, but here's something if we're like, how are we going to make this work with a Warlock? Here we go. Alright, so we have our mark of scribing traits. Our charisma score increases by 1. Ooh, that's to our benefit, isn't it? We also are going to get Gifted Scribe. You are proficient with calligrapher's supplies and forgery kits. When you make an ability check using either one of these tools, you can roll an intuition die, a d4, and add the number rolled to the ability check. You do not need to be proficient to use your inspiration die, though this is going to give us proficiency with calligrapher supplies and forgery kits. We are also going to gain Scribe's Insight. You can cast Comprehend Languages with once with this trait, and you regain the ability to do so when you finish a long rest. Intelligence is your spellcasting ability for it. Comp language, I think, is a first level spell, so let's go over here and put Scribe Insight, SI, Comprehend Languages, which is int based, once per long rest. Whispering Wind. You know the cantrip message. Intelligence is your spellcasting ability when casting it. So let's come over here. Whispering Wind. Message. Int. Extra language. You can speak, read, and write an extra language of your choice. Mark of Scribing is going to give us one language here. How about that? That works out pretty well for our Warlock, doesn't it? And it's all randomly generated. Oh, pardon me. Now that we have our racial features in place, we can come back over to the player's handbook and let's finally tack on 11 levels of Warlock to our brewing character. This is what we're looking at. Our proficiency bonus is 4. We're going to know 4 cantrips. So over here we have Whispering Wind is message. Int. Then we're going to have cantrip number 1. A 2, a 3, a 4. We'll go to spells known in a little bit here. Spell slots, we're going to get 3 of 5th level. And that's it. Warlocks cast a little bit differently. Go. And we'll know 5 invocations. So we come up here, invocations, and let's see, level 2, we're going to get 2. We go up to 3 at level 5, 4 at level 7, 5 at 9th. DJ, I might work on my character statue a bit more. Mind if I share pics of it when I'm... Yeah, please, go ahead, DJ. I appreciate you asking. And also that you're putting that extra little bit of time in to flesh your character out. Oh, pardon me. Warlocks are D8 hit die class. We are level 11, so we're going to get 11 D8 hit die. We have light armor proficiency, simple weapon proficiency, no tool proficiencies. Wisdom and charisma are our saving throws in which we're proficient. And then we get to choose 2 skills from deception, history, intimidation, investigation, nature, and religion. Sorry, pardon me. I ate almost right before coming on stream, so my body's like, no, dude, you want to rest. You gotta relax, man. I just want to digest this pizza. It's all gravy, baby. Hi, Katie Sue. DJ, let's see. A twig snaps, just a deer, you hope, but then bounces a giant elk. Only 11 or greater can defeat it. You attack normally, adding a +3 modifier. So 12 plus 3 is 15, and DJ fells the giant elk. There's your 100. Now your family can eat for the winter. Let's see. Get a price in our head. We oppose the war. We're working to improve the image of a marginalized minority. I'm sorry, pardon me. Especially given his age, I think history and investigation to find clues about other tyrants, about maybe uncovering plots to foil. Investigation can help in that regard. Now, if you have a different suggestion for the skills, please let me know. For right now, I'm going to put them into investigation and history. I'm sorry, pardon me again. Hey, Dorak. We have built a dragon-marked gnome. A light crossbow or any simple weapon. I think a light crossbow is okay. 1d8 plus. And we'll get that ready with our dex modifier. A component pouch or an arcane focus. Let's see. We have a forest gnome who's really a Dragonmark gnome because forest falls away to leave room for the Dragonmark. Maybe a focus, and that's his sign that he leaves as a folk hero, especially given what he does. So let's go with an arcane focus. A scholar's pack or a dungeoneer's pack? You're working to improve marginalized, strong sense of fair play. Always try and find the most equitable solution to arguments. You get bored easily. When am I going to get on with my destiny? Probably a scholar's pack then, so he can try and write down clues and negotiation tactics. Leather armor. Any simple weapon and 2 daggers. Any simple. That could be a short bow, but I mean, we have a crossbow. We have daggers already. What would be a good other weapon? Maybe... hand axe? Maybe something with finesse. A throwing hammer would be interesting. I don't know, yeah, why don't we try that? A light hammer. He could use that as a gavel if he really wants to get people's attention. 1d4 plus... and this is 1d4 plus. There we go, and there we go. And once we get our modifiers, we can start... There we go. We can start filling in these numbers here. Oh, Dorak... I ate some pizza. Like, I was rushing around tonight after running Curse of Strahd at the store, and I got some pizza on the way, and I ate it right before coming online, and I was just like, oh my god, my body's like, nope, we need blood to digest. It was a nice meaty pizza as well, and so your body's like, oh, gotta break down proteins, and we're just gonna make you sleepy. Thank you though for your concern, Dorak. I appreciate it. I'm sorry if I do look very bored. I'm not. I'm loving this character, but I'm fighting I'm fighting the digestion process of a very meaty pizza. Hey, Bubonic One. Thank you also very much for that gifted subscription, Dorak. In fact, let me check something real quick on the back end here. Okay. Okay. For sure, we are definitely going to be giving away on the third Wednesday. Yeah, I know, DJ. It gives you what's called the itis, right? And you're like, oh, I'm just so content and fat and happy. I just want to sit back and digest. Plus, I forgot to turn my fan on before broadcasting, so woo, it's a little warm. We definitely have enough followers that I will be giving away on the third Wednesday of this month a box of minis, right? A box of minis, or a set of dice or something along those lines to a subscriber as a show of thanks. Pardon me. Dorak, any plans to do a Ravnica campaign when it comes out? Yes, Dorak. So we're finishing Eberron this week, and we next week we are going to get into. Oh, where'd it go? Here it is. Dun, 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 dun. You can download the Pathfinder 2nd Edition playtest rules. And so we'll spend at least next week, maybe the next 2 weeks, building characters and testing the Pathfinder system. And then when Ravnica comes out in November, we'll take a week or two like what we did with Eberron, and we'll visit the Ravnica setting and find out what that could add, influence, or otherwise change in the realm of D&D, especially as it crosses over with Magic the Gathering. So I hope that satisfies you, Dorak. And by the way, now if you're planning on playing and you have a friend who's going to run, just download for free the basic rulebook, okay? Otherwise, I mean, there's a character sheet, which by the way I did turn 90 degrees, because in this system, when you print them out, they're actually landscape-oriented character sheets, not portrait. They do have a bestiary. They also have a soundboard you could download, and a sample adventure that you can run through that'll take you from level 1 to 20 throughout the course of the playtest, and there's a map pack for it too. And then as you do play through the playtest, they ask you to take a couple notes on this worksheet and send it back to them so that they can make various tweaks. Dorak, I just want to play with you someday if you'll have me, and I'm super pumped for Ravnica. Dorak, when our test campaign on Tuesday comes to an end, I will be looking for more players who can show up Tuesday evening to play in a campaign. Now that might not be for a couple months yet, like maybe towards the end of the year. We'll see. But I do want to play with a lot more of you out there. That said, you can freely play, you can role play in the background in chat. You could be a fickle god and cause certain things to happen in the course of events. Well, and NPCs are closed right now, but there's also an NPC role if something were to open up. Will Planeswalker become a background or feat in the Ravnica expansion? I do not know offhand, DJ. I'm sorry. Hey, funny man, good to see you. Well, I will make the casting call. If you are on our Discord, right here where it says stream game, when I'm looking for people, I'll make another announcement, and then so that way, right, I'll look for people who want to be a PC, a monster or NPC, or someone who wants to come in and help me be a co-DM. So I will make a casting call for the next campaign, and if you can make it to the day and time, and you can be consistent, you might just be able to play. Nana has never played Pathfinder. I haven't really either. It's a lot like 3rd edition, or 3.5 I should say. And a lot of people are like, it's 3.75 or something like that. It came about when Wizards was moving away from the 3rd edition format to, I'll say, the controversial. I mean, when we have a system change, everything's going to be controversial. To the controversial system of 4th edition. And so Paizo, who was publishing Dungeon Magazine and Dragon Magazine and whatnot, they had those licenses pulled, and D&D was pulling away from the massively popular 3rd edition format. And they said, oh, we've printed up enough of this stuff. We are going to make Pathfinder, which is a 3.5 like RPG system. Yeah, Bubonic. Maybe something will pop up over the weekend. I would love a form-fillable PDF myself. Funny man, I want to try Roll20 and know what I'm doing first. Because you've only played at the table. Hi, Cake Boss. And also White Metal Games. Thank you very much. Thank you for that host. We'll bring down the Pathfinder stuff right now. We'll bring it back up though. Let's see. Now we have our skills. Yeah, we do. And our equipment. We already have our otherworldly patron. We're gonna go fiend, and our pact is what we're gonna get at chapter 3. So there's our pact magic. We'll get back to the magic soon enough. Magic's one of the last things we do because it relies on stats, and stats are one of the last things that we do because we want to build a strong chassis for the character first, and then we'll drop the engine in it. Well, yeah, so you're an NPC. It's just that you may not have an active speaking role, Tin Cat, like Volvo has been having, but you are doing an excellent job in chat to get a creation going of some kind, and I super appreciate it. I think it's a lot of fun. Plus, you gave something for our PCs to interact with on the side. Alright, so Pact Magic and Invocations. We already have our list going all the way up to our level 11. Our Pact Boon. You learn the Find Familiar spell and can cast it as a ritual. The spell doesn't count against the number of spells known. When you cast this spell, you can choose one of the normal forms for your familiar, or one of the following special forms: Imp, Pseudo-Dragon, Quasit, or Sprite. Additionally, when you take the attack action, you can forego one of your own attacks to allow your familiar to make an attack of its own. I think Find Familiar is a first level spell. If not, I'll move it. Zytek 2Kid 2002. Run! Follow me if you want to live. Pact of the Chain is going to give us Find Familiar. There we go. Okay, we are going to get Mystic Arcanum. At 11th level, which is the level we're at, your patron bestows upon you a magical secret called an Arcanum, or Arcanum. Choose one 6th level spell from the Warlock spell list as this Arcanum. We'll do just that. Here we go. Here's our Mystic Arcanum. And without expending a slot, we can cast this spell once per day. Now, we are going to take a look at our... Yep, here's our Fiend. The Fiend lets you choose from an expanded spell list of spells when you learn a Warlock spell. The following spells are added to the list for you. This is not, N-O-T, not like a domain or a circle for druids or an oath for paladins. They do not come ready-made for you to always cast. These are simply extras that you can take when you would normally earn a Warlock spell. So they're going to be kind of unique for your patron to give to you. Your Wizlock is going to be a chain lock. Familiars can do fun stuff. Just make sure if you're a summoner or you have a familiar or a follower or whatever, please make sure that when you're in combat, have their actions ready to go. So you're not just sitting there going, kind of like what I seem like I'm doing, right? Whoa, it's my turn? Tell me what's going on. Give me a recap. When you could have been paying attention the whole time and had all your actions primed. By the way, we are a Warlock. Our spellcasting ability is Charisma. Yay. So yeah, there's our expanded spell list. Dark One's Blessing is what we get from our archetype. The Dark One's Own Luck. And Fiendish Resistance. Starting at 10th level, you can choose one damage type when you finish a long or short rest. You gain resistance to that damage type until you choose a different one in the future. Isn't that something? Damage from magical weapons or silver weapons ignores this resistance. Ah, so even the bad guys can use it against you. Alright, we are almost finished now. If we go, we're going to need to choose our invocations, and also, I'm going to show you here, our spells known, how that works. So at first level, we know 2. Whoops. Here's our 2 at first level. Then our spells known go to 3 at second level. There we go. Then they go to 4 at third level. But you can see now that suddenly our slot level goes to second. Meaning we can, if we wish, at level 3, take a second level spell. Let's see, level 4 is the same, so we're gonna just go V4. 5 goes up to third level. Right, 4, 5, and 6. Yeah, 6 to 7. At 7th level, we get 8 and 9 in 4th level spells. 8 and 9. And then at 9th level, we can take a 5th level spell. But you'll see when we hit 10, we don't get a new spell. It's 10 to 10 right here. Only until we hit 11 do we get our 11th. And it can only be in the 5th level Warlock slot. There we go. Now we can choose for any of these off the standard Warlock list However, being a pact holder of the Fiend, we can replace, or rather it'd be adding to the list, not really replacing. We can add to the list the spells that our Fiend might favor and grant us. So we do have some adaptability and a uniqueness as a class. Hi, Estwild. Funny man. Oh, yeah, you've fallen a little bit, huh? Estwild says, good evening. I'm overall pretty happy with that Ori I finished. Lines and circles are a little wonky. If you want, Estwild, it looked really cool. And I'm thankful that you split it here. Actually, I'll show it off real quick. Oops. Where's my... Here we go, character. I think that works well enough to get the job done. But I do think it looks better than just even that baseline. I wouldn't be too hard on yourself for it. Especially if you understand it. Alrighty. So, find familiar, and so we can put in Burning Hands, Command, Blindness, Deafness, Scorching Ray, Fireball, Stinking Cloud. We do have up to 5th level spells. So, Fire Shield, Wall of Fire, Flame Strike, and Hallow. Okay. Let's go to invocations real quick. There's one or two, level 15 Pact of the Chain, which is the Chains of Carceri. You can cast Hold Monster at will, targeting a Celestial, Fiend, or Elemental without expending a spell slot. Interesting, huh? Let's take a look if there's anything else that's just uniquely us. Voice of the Chainmaster. There's no level requirement. You can communicate telepathically with your familiar and perceive through your familiar's senses as long as you are on the same plane of existence. Additionally, while perceiving through your familiar's senses, you can also speak through your familiar in your own voice, even if your familiar is normally incapable of speech. Kinda spooky, kinda cool. That might be one of the invocations we take, along with whatever it is, whatever kind of familiar that you would like her to have. What else can we get? What's her personality? I'm sorry, pardon me. Again, I ate some pizza before going live, and my body's like, dude, just shut down a little bit. Come on. It's warm in here already, and I gotta digest this. So I'm gonna pull blood to your stomach. You're working to improve the image of a marginalized minority group. You oppose the war. You've got a price on your head. So maybe you can cast Disguise Self at will without expending a spell slot. That might be a good one for survival. Mask of Many Faces. Strong sense of fair play and always try and find the most equitable solution to arguments. I get bored easily. When am I going to get on with my destiny? Freedom tyrants must not be allowed to oppress the people. Rah, rah, rah. I have a family, but I have no idea where they are. One day, I hope to see them. Hi, Diadems. Hope you're doing well. Well, that's wild. Yeah, it's looking good. Thank you for making it and sharing it. Pardon me. Compulsion, that might be an interesting one, right? Especially if we're trying to be a negotiator of sorts. We're just using a little bit of magic to help us. We wanna get back into the limelight. Maybe we use a little bit of magic on the people who watch us. So let's go. Bewitching Whispers has to at least be level 7. I'm sorry, pardon me. I'm not meaning to try and make y'all sleepy out there. I hope this doesn't come across. Hey, guten Morgen, Delcorin. Ooh, Eyes of the Runekeeper's a pretty good one. Oh, Mire the Mind. You cast slow once using a Warlock spell slot. You're like, well, but you only get 3 of those. Slow is a really good spell, especially if you're being chased by a group of people, or you live in a city like Sharn, where there's a group of people around every corner. Ooh. There we go. Coffee Cat doesn't find familiar as a spell already allow you to perceive through its senses. The only benefit that invocation gives you is you can speak through it. Let's go check it out real quick like. And then we'll button this character up shortly with some ability scores here. Come on now. Find traps, find the pet. Find familiar. I get the service of a familiar, takes an animal form. Okay, so it says while your familiar is within 100 feet of you, you can communicate with it telepathically. The other one is if you're on the same material or you're on the same plane. Additionally, as an action, you can see through your familiar's eyes and hear what it hears until the start of your next turn, gaining the benefits of any special senses. And then we go back over to Warlock. Invocations. Yeah, so it's greater than 100 feet communication range. You also can choose from an expanded list of why am I forgetting? Of familiars. Yeah. Yep. Okay, last thing we really have to do is drop in our scores and give this character a name. Charisma, I think, in the standard array is definitely going to be getting the big one, because charisma is a big score for not just warlocks in general, but for this kind of a character that wants to be the, oh yeah, rah, 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 we're the hero of the people. Having a high charisma is going to be important. He's older. I almost want to say, I don't know, he might be kind of weaker. Maybe he has an okay dex. Maybe he doesn't have the best constitution. Whoops. Okay. 15, 14, 13. Wait. Oh, this is 12. I'm sorry. 15, 14, 13, 12, 10, 8. Now we add the racial modifier from gnome to bring it to 14, and we add the racial modifier from our Dragonmark, I guess racial, because it is based on gnomes, to bring our charisma to a 16. And we said we were going to go pure stat bumps with him, and I think, I don't know, I think just going 18 or going to 20 charisma might be the best. Like that, I think that's how this character would act. Right, price on our head. We have to be able to perform. We need to be able to outsmart people. Yeah. So let's put our 2 right at level 4 and level 8. We're almost at level 12. Almost. Hang in there. Let's go for a 20 charisma. Nice big fat 5. Look at the... Oh, a 56 even. 1, 2, 0, 2, and -1. Yeah, funny man, charisma is a leadership stat. Alzi, Arandis Vol, Best Villain 2018. Who is Arandis Vol? I'm sorry, I'm not familiar with that, Alzi. So we're going to go -1. In this case, he doesn't really... He's an old man, but he doesn't have old man strength. Dexterity's okay. Constitution is not negative. So that's positive. 5 plus 4 is 9, and 5's down the line. Ooh, nice. Arendis Vol is the Lich Queen who runs the blood... Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah, the Blood of Vol. I remember that now that we were going over the religions. You're off to bed. All right, thank you, Coffee Cat, for hanging out with us. I very much appreciate it. And thank you for continuing to show and refine your vision of Mordecai, your player, on Tuesday. I think you had a couple questions that I had to get back to you on, but I was rushing tonight. I'll get back to you, Coffee Cat, okay? Our initiative is going to be at a +2, because that's a dex check. Passive perception's an 11, because that is 10, plus our perception modifier to measure how naturally aware we are. Ah, the mysterious 13th Dragonmark. Hit points, we're going to get the full 8 at level 1, and then for the 10 levels of our 11 after that, it's going to be half +1 our hit die, so 5, right? Half of 8 is 4, plus 1 is 5. Then it's going to be 0, but technically, all 11 of our levels would get our modifier, our Constitution modifier, in bonus hit points. As that's 0, we really have 50 plus 8 is 58. So 58 hit points at level 11. We come down to our weapons, and all of these are either dex-based or have the finesse property. I think light hammers do. I'll have to double check. Let's see. Hand axe? No, that's just light and thrown. So we want to try and find something with finesse, because that is... that would allow us to use our dexterity to attack and not have to use our strength. I guess that would just be, daggers, huh? And simple? We already have a light crossbow. So maybe instead of the light hammer, let's go with a sling. A lot of people don't take slings. Those are a ton of fun. That's gonna be bludgeoning damage still. 1d4. Yeah, there we go. Now we're using our dex. All right, so 2 plus, well, as we're proficient, so that's 6, and the same for the others. We definitely want to use dex and not strength, right? That's -1. All of these are +2 because that is the ability modifier of the relevant ability for attacking. If we're attacking with our spells, we're attacking with charisma plus proficiency. I hope we're proficient. That's a 9. Then you add 8 to find out the difficulty of your save. Why 8? It's just 8. There you go. Yeah, it could just be daggers. Yeah, not a lot of people learn anything approaching or past fifth level magic, LZ. He's doing something right to get this reward from his patron. Huh. Reward, it's the fiend. Huge personality stat block. We can fill in the spells as we go along. Look, the spells you take are going to reflect the journey that he's been on, right? Where has he gone? Has he picked up spells? Has he picked up different components and things like that? Things to think about and to sample? I don't know. Yeah, like he's just sampling spells. He's looking at ways to continue to survive, given the current circumstances that he finds himself in. So I'm not going to do spell selection for this character right now. We can go back and do it a little bit later if you'd like. And by the way, we have 003 for spell slots because warlocks are weird. Oh, that's spell slots 3 at 5th. 3, 0, 0. There we go. That's what I'm like. How do we have spells beyond our slots? Especially as a warlock, because if you multi-class, those don't grant you extra spell slots. There we go. Much better. Oh, I'm sorry. Armor class. Leather armor is 11 plus dex is 13. So we're kind of a glass cannon. Warlocks tend to be. A Warforged Barbarian. We built one of those last week, funny man. It was very interesting. It was a skirmisher Warforged Totem Barbarian. Got to make a duelist couple called Bruno and Cardi. Couple named Bruno and Cardi, they'd be dripping with finesse. Bruno and Cardi. I don't know if I'm getting the reference, LZ. No. Maybe am I just too sleepy? Shame on me. I'm going to be getting up and taking a walk anyway, cooling off and, getting some water. And when I come back and we make our second character for the evening, we'll be in it, okay? That said, I am going to get up. I want to stir my blood. I want to get up and walk around and get some... Get with the pop music. That stuff escapes me. That stuff escapes me. I do not listen to the hippity hoppity or the pippity poppity. I haven't watched TV in ages. Oh, I will need a name for this character if any of you are feeling inspired. Yeah, that's right, Delcorn. Polka or bust. So, yeah, I know. I am. So we have this scribing gnome, who is our Fiend Chain Warlock. Folk hero, opposed the war, wanted to bring down a corrupt merchant, and wants to lift up a particular minority group. So if you have a name for this character, let me know. I'm going to get up and take about a 10-minute break to stretch, to get something cold to drink, and to turn my fan on. How did I forget to do that before? I'll see you all soon, okay?